It's getting to be that time of year again. Everyone seems to be getting ready, some in their very own way. Some look forward to start anew, while others know they're coming to the end. But first, March, because this is the Big West. It's the Tuesday showcase from Mott Athletic Center, both Cal Poly and CSUB trying to end losing streaks. First half tight game, David Walker with 3 of his 9 for CSUB. Later, Dalf Panopio with the 3, 10-point runners lead, bellissima. End of the first half, though, Kyle Colvin, the deep 3 for the Mustangs, cuts it to single digits. Second half, Caleb Higgins makes it a 5-point game with 3 of his 11. But TJ Taylor led the Mustangs with 14, gets the smooth roll, cuts the lead down to 2. Ali Karoma float like a butterfly, and he ties it at 56. He ended up with 10 on the game. So here's Cam Pierce, coast to coast. It's a 4-point lead for Cal Poly. He had 8 points to go with 7 rebounds and 7 assists. But there's a reason they call him clutch. Caleb Higgins ties it for the runners. That's when it gets interesting. Brantley Stevenson loses it out of bounds for Cal Poly. Caleb Williams, again for CSUB, takes it to the other end, draws the foul. We'll let Chris Sylvester tell you the rest.
Bakersfield takes the lead. 3.5 seconds left.
Full court pressure by the Roadrunners.
Colvin's got to get it in to Pierce. Deflected, and that'll do it. CSU Bakersfield snaps a 9-game losing streak with a 1-point win on the road over Cal Poly. Roadrunners 61, Mustangs 60.
Long Beach State and UC San Diego, old-fashioned PCAA vibes at the Walter Pyramid on this Thursday night. Starting it off, Jake the Big Kozakowski with the 3 for UC San Diego. Answering back for the Beach, Jadon Jones from long distance. Joel Murray straight away with 3 of his 27. And again for the Beach, out of the corner, Tobias Rodegard with the 3. You get the idea. Now the Tritons get into the act. Here's Jace Rockamore, left wing for 3, 10 points and 7 rebounds for him. Francis Wakoria with the 3 from Paisley Park. He had 11 on the game. Breakneck pace for UC San Diego, who made 11 threes in the first half. The Beach D, aware of Kozakowski out high, he finds Bryce Pope underneath, all alone. The lay-in, 2 of his 15. Tritons lead by 2 at the half. Second half, the Beach starts pushing the pace. Colin Slater down the lane with the dish. That's Traore with the dunk. 16 points for Traore. Rodegard again from the left wing. He was 5 of 6 from bonus distance. Joel Murray from deep, 27 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists for Murray. Tobias Rodegard again, this time from the corner. He finished with 17 points on the game. Back on the left side, Jadon Jones, 3 more of his 17. He was 5 of 6 from beyond the arc. But the Tritons just try to muster some resistance. Kozakowski again with the 3. The dude abides. Kozakowski again finished with 26, went 8 of 14 from long distance, cuts it to 12, but the Tritons just can't keep up. The Beach wins their 12th of their last 13, and there is much rejoicing in the 5-6-2. Simplify Arena at the Stan Sheriff Center for Hawaii and Cal Poly. Bows need a fast start, and Jerome Rosier obliges. 3 here puts the Bows up by 10. Javon McClanahan with the mid-range for Hawaii. He had 13 on the night to go with 5 assists. Off the curl, Kyle Colvin stems the tide for the Mustangs with this 3. Cal Poly comes all the way back. Cam Pierce with the feed to Ali Karoma for the bucket. Karoma ended up with 8. The Mustangs have the lead. Hawaii playing without their leading scorer Noel Coleman and Texas transfer Kamaka Hepa, but no problem because they're living the life of Riley. Beyond Riley, that is, with 3 of his 10 here. End of the half, Brantley Stevenson finds Kobe Sanders. The 3 at the buzzer. It's a 1-point game at the intermission. Buzzer beater fuels the Mustangs to start the second half. Cam Pierce in the lane. 2 of his 15. Cal Poly's in the lead. Brantley Stevenson with the 3 out of the corner. 5-point lead for Cal Poly. Could the Mustangs bounce back off that tough loss to Bakersfield? Beyond Riley, though, steps it up for Hawaii. Another 3 here, and Hawaii ties it up. Under 5 minutes to play, Junior Marut hits the 3 for the Bows. He ended up with 11 on the night and a 3-point lead for Hawaii. Mustangs trying to hang in, but here's the 3 from DeRosier. He ended up with 14, a team high for the Bows. Merci beaucoup. Big defensive sequence here for Cal Poly. Under 30 seconds left, but Jovan McClanahan with the dagger. Hawaii up by 6. Cal Poly kept it close for a little bit, but ultimately Iran Gadan and Hawaii come away with the victory. The Highlanders of UC Riverside try and keep pace as they welcome CSUN to the 9-5-1. Hot start for UC Riverside. The 3 from Daniel Matting makes it 17-2. Matadors trying to hang around. Marcel Stevens finds Attenwright for the jumper. 2 of his 14 on the game. Reigning Big West Player of the Week, Callum McRae, off balance, and it still goes down. Zion Pullen grabs the loose ball, confirms his reservation of the elevation with the jam. 11 points, 5 assists, Riverside by 18. Highlanders moving the ball, 23 assists on 31 made baskets. Scoreless in his last 6, Dragon Elkaz hits the 3. Matadors off a defensive stop find Onyi Aisi in transition. Aisi with 14 on 5 of 8 shooting. But there was no stopping Dragon Elkaz. Cans the 3 here, ends up with a season-high 15. Riverside by 20 at the break. Second half, Dominic Pickett finds Elkaz again. Just 3 points in his last 8 games, but he was hot tonight. 5 of 7 from distance. Flynn Cameron wants to get into the act. Hand in his face. No matter the corner 3. Lucky 13 for Flynn. How do you say coup de grace in Kiwi? McRae with the dunk. Went for his 3rd straight double-double. 14 points on 7 of 10 shooting to go with 13 rebounds. Just that kind of night for the Matadors. UC Riverside awaiting UC Santa Barbara for a key Big West battle at the SRC on Saturday night. UC Davis and UC Santa Barbara at University Credit Union Center. Both the Aggies and the Gauchos looking to make a move. Elijah Pepper comes out slinging for UC Davis, puts his team up by 7, and then by 8. He had 21 on the night for the Aggies, who played without starter Caleb Fuller. Late first half, Josh Pierre-Louis finds Amadou Sow inside for 2 of his 17, making it a 5-point game. Aggies tacked on a free throw to go to the locker room up by 6. Second half, a flurry from A.J. Mitchell. First the jumper, then with the drive. The runner on the right side, and the baseline move from the left side. Mitchell with a career-high 31 points on the game. The Gauchos in the lead. Josh Pierre-Louis then gets into the action for UC Santa Barbara. First in transition for the score. And then off the bounce, Pierre-Louis with 14 for the Gauchos to go with his 4 assists. They lead by 5. But the Aggies have a pretty good point guard too. Ezra Magnon in the lane, 2 of his 19. It's a 2-point game. Aggies actually managed to break out on top, but here's A.J. Mitchell, the late 3. Gauchos back in front. Magnon, though, back the other way. He'll tie it for UC Davis. One last chance for Mitchell, but no go. We are headed for overtime. It's the youngster and the veteran. First, Magnon with the step through, but Mitchell answers back from the corner for UC Santa Barbara, and they have the lead. Here's Pepper, from the right wing for the Aggies. Lead back to Davis. Later in the game, Santa Barbara by 1. Here's Mitchell with the drive to the bucket. Elijah Pepper, a chance to tie it for UC Davis, but this time he is off the mark. Gauchos close it out. They win it in overtime. They've now won 5 or 6 and are making their move up the standings. Historic Titan Gym for UC Irvine and Cal State Fullerton. Always interesting when these two of the traditional 4 get together. Early going, Justin Hone hot from the outside, 2 of his 17. Eaters up by 5. Later in the half, Christian Velp with the crafty move. Iron cooperates, 2 of his 12. Irvine lead now 8. But the Titans push back, already won the first game between these two teams. Anisicki out of the corner for 3 of his 16. Second half, Justin Hone again inside this time for the bucket, pushing the Irvine lead to 10. Titans get to work. Vincent Lee in the low post, amongst the trees. The hook makes it an 8-point game, 13 points, 8 rebounds for Lee. Here comes Fullerton in transition. Damari Milstead out of the corner. It's a 1-point game. Irvine's still up by 2, but not for long. Jalen Harris uses the screen. Down the alley, we are tied. Couple of free throws later, Eaters up by 2. Here's the run out for Fullerton by Damari Milstead. 2 of his 17. We're tied again at 62. Titans defense scored 25 points off of 19 Irvine turnovers. Vincent Lee finds Jalen Harris for the score. Harris with 8, Fullerton by 2. When they make the movie, Val Kilmer's got to play Colin Velp because he's the Iceman. All tied at 64. We'll let Jonathan Rifkin do the honors from here.
Here's Harris, little stutter. Step back jumper, knocks it through. Jalen Harris.
Okay, last chance for UC Irvine. Off the inbounds play. Career high 17 for Justin Hone, but he wanted the 19. Eaters fall just short. E.J. Anisicki and Damari Milstead, they go celebrate with the students. Fullerton keeps pace as they move to 10-3 in Big West play. Saturday matinee from REMAC, Tritons and the Titans. UC San Diego 8-4 at home. Tony Roshak gets it started for UC San Diego, the pick and pop. He had 20 on 8 of 13 shooting. Tritons heat up. Bryce Pope from downtown had 2 of UC San Diego's 12 bonus buckets. Here's more pick and pop. This time Francis Wakoria, he hit 3 of 5 from beyond the arc. And later on defense, the steal and the dunk. Tritons by 18. Wakoria with 23 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, and 4 steals. Late first half, it's Jake Kozakowski putting UC San Diego up by 20. They go to the break up 23. Are the Titans in trouble? Second half, Roshak with his own miss puts it back up and in. He had 20. But then the Titans find their footing. The aptly named Trey Maddox Jr., 3 of his 18 from the left wing. To paraphrase Tupac Shakur from the timeless classic California Love, you know E.J. Anisicki up in this. He had 18 as well. Damari Milstead also had 18 for Fullerton. Hits the 3 here to bring the Titans to within 5. Later, Anisicki finds Maddox from the right wing, and Cal State Fullerton has come all the way back to make it a 1-point game. But it's the age of Wakoria. Francis with the step through on the baseline loosens the collar a bit for the Tritons. We move to the free throw portion of the competition, and UC San Diego able to close it out. Anisicki and Roshak, the kids call that game-recognizing game. Senior day at University Credit Union Center for UC Davis as they take on CSUN. Elijah Pepper gets it started, 3 of his 15. Aggies lead by 10. They're still missing Caleb Fuller. He's been out the last 2 games. Miles James tries to get it going for CSUN. He finds Elijah Hardy here. 10 for Hardy on the night. CSUN down 6. Pepper with the steal here finds Ezra Magnon in a bit of role reversal. Magnon with 12 on the game for Davis. Late first half, Christian Intrigue gets inside. Lead back to 10 for the Aggies. Davis goes to the break up a dozen. Second half, Intrigue really asserts himself. First, the tip off of his own miss. And then next gets the dime from Ade Adebayo. He had 20 points and 8 rebounds. But CSUN still got some fight. The steal here by Fidelis Okereke, the run out to Atten Wright, who lays it up and in. Wright with 10 for the Matadors, but wouldn't be enough. Aggies held CSUN to 32% shooting on the game. Davis sweeps CSUN, keeping pace with UC Santa Barbara for that last first-round bye next week in Henderson. It's senior day in Honolulu for the Bows as they take on CSUB. Tight game early, runners go inside to Sean Stith. He had 12 on the game. Antavion Collum with the 3 gives the runners the 5-point lead. CSUB feels good after their Tuesday win. Higgins feeding Hansen for the jam. The runners executing on the fast break. But Hawaii settles it down. Late bucket in the first half by Bernardo da Silva cuts the lead to 2. Opening of the second half, Caleb Higgins for CSUB, 2 of his 9. David Walker runs to the rim, and the runners staying out in front of Hawaii, 8 points on the night for Walker. Jovan McClanahan gets into the lane and ties the game. Hawaii still playing without leading scorer Noel Coleman. Kamaka Hepa, though, back for this one. Da Silva down inside again gives the Bows the lead. He had 14 points on the game. McClanahan again taking it to the rim, 2 of his 11. Last made basket for the Bows. They close it out from the free throw line. Jerome DeRosier will drink to that. Hawaii finishes off the season on the road. They're at Santa Barbara and CSUN. Senior day for the Eaters at Brent Center. The beach in town, they call it the black and blue rivalry. Well, I don't, but they do, and that's okay. Colin Velp's not a priest of the temples of Syrinx, but that mid-range jumper does make it 21-12. Irvine in the lead. Justin Hone comes off a career-high 17 Thursday night at Fullerton. The 3 puts Irvine up 13. That's what Hone would end up with on the game. Colin Velp again off the bounce with the spin, knocks it down. Eaters up by 21. Dawson Baker, 2 of his 18. UC Irvine up 23 at the break. Second half, Long Beach State trying to get back in it. The block by Traore. The run out for Joel Murray, 3 of his 20. Beach fighting to stay in first place. Later in the second half, Colin Slater pulls up for the 3 in transition. 16 points and 7 assists for the Beach senior. Now it starts to get interesting. Joel Murray dishes to Jadon Jones. He had 11 and 9 on the night. Lead down to 5 for Irvine. Big Russ wants the timeout. Joel Murray coast to coast here. He can't finish, but Abubakar Traore can. 14 points to go with 5 assists. That's Traore. That's right, young fella. You can make some noise. Need a bucket? Who are you going to look for? 10 points, 7 rebounds. Last career game at the Bren Center for Colin Velp on senior day. Final moments, Rodegard misses, and the Eaters hold on. 28 points off of 22 Irvine turnovers for the Beach, but they still fall short. Velp and Slater after the game. Yeah, you got a pretty cool first name. Oh yeah, see you in Henderson. Shrimp cocktails on me. Red Hot Gauchos on the road taking on UC Riverside. Good crowd at the SRC Arena. Students out to see their Highlanders. Cut to the chase, 2 minutes left. Callum McRae gives UC Riverside the lead, 68-66. But on the other side, A.J. Mitchell lines up the 3 and puts the Gauchos up by 2. He had 30 on the game. Key play here for UC Santa Barbara. Foul on Josh Pierre-Louis, but that's the 5th on Zion Pullen. He has to leave the game, fouling out with 19 points. Key loss for UC Riverside. End of regulation. Callum McRae, the and 1. He had 32, ended up hitting the free throw. We're tied at 71. Last chance, A.J. Mitchell can win it in regulation, but he's off the mark and we're headed for overtime. Early in OT, Josh Pierre-Louis drops it off to Amadou Sow. He had 25 on the game. Playing hoops with a man from Ansledge. He was 6'4", and he gets buckets. Mitchell gives the Chos a 6-point lead. This is why you don't foul up 3. Dominic Pickett with a sleight of hand. 3 free throws coming up. Pickett makes all his free throws, ties the game, and then Flynn Cameron gets the held ball call before A.J. Mitchell can get the shot off. UCR crowd is loving it. But McRae can't connect out of the corner for the game winner. We're headed to double overtime. Second overtime period. Here's Callum McRae, surprise, surprise, for UC Riverside. A.J. Mitchell for UC Santa Barbara. Mitchell. McRae. 1-point game. But A.J. Mitchell drills the 3 for the Gauchos. Last chance for Flynn Cameron, but UC Santa Barbara secures the win. They've now won 6 of their last 7. Riverside falls to 8-5 in Big West play. Handshake line at the end of the game. Could we see a Chose Landers reunion in Henderson? That's all for now, folks. See you next week on This is the Big West.